supposedly, he says he's on his way.
Okay. I would like to bring this meeting of the Pinellas Suncoast Transit Authority Executive Committee to order, please. And I do not see anyone here from the public who might wish to comment. And so let's move on, please, to the, can we move to the action items without Joe? Okay.
Yeah, we have one.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of July 8th, 2019?
So moved.
And
Oops, sorry.
are there two sets, Brad? And it says July and July. Oh, and the July Executive Committee meeting minutes.
It's just one set, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's,
that- I don't know why
Taking
that's
up
printed
both
like
of
that.
them in one motion.
it's only one set.
It's only the July 8th. I don't,
There's no Executive Committee minutes?
This is the executive committee minutes.
From
Hey.
July.
yes,
That's
July
what we're
8th.
approving.
Correct.
It's just, I think, printed twice.
Yeah.
It's
July
not,
minutes.
it's, the one that's below is the link. If you go online.
Oh.
Oh,
it's
okay,
The
well,
one
I'm
that's
not looking at
below
it
is the
on my,
actual
okay,
link
thank
to
you
get
for
you
that
there.
clarification. All right, all the,
Approval.
did you second it, Jordan?
Yes, second?
Okay, all in favor, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Trish, the scorecard,
Yes, hello, good afternoon.
good afternoon.
We are going to look today at our third quarter 2019 scorecard and also our draft 2020 scorecard, which is listed on your agenda. And you have at your places our third quarter scorecard, which you're used to seeing. I also wanted to talk today about some of the stories and the initiatives that go behind the numbers that are on the scorecard and share with you a few highlights from our achievements and the initiatives that drive what is a very great, again, quarterly score of 101 points and our year-to-date score of 98 points. So you know that our scorecard measures our performance in 5 key strategic areas: community support, financial stability, customer satisfaction, employee engagement, and commitment to performance. And just taking a glimpse, a peek at one thing in each area that really helped to drive the high scores that we had, I wanted to share with you. Our community support metric looks at the relationship that we have with our community among a lot of different facets, and one of them, sustainability, we were just talking about a moment ago. One of our accomplishments from the third quarter that we're very proud of and that helped drive our score this quarter is that we were recognized from the American Public Transportation Association as having elevated from bronze level sustainability to silver level sustainability. Now, this is a commitment to sustainability that member agencies from all across the country have signed on to. And through recognition of our efforts, including reducing our electricity consumption by 15%, our increased rates of recycling, and our commitment to our blend of our low-no emissions fleet through the hybrid and electric buses, they recognize that we are progressing in our sustainability efforts and designated us as a silver level member on sustainability.
Excellent, very good news.
We're very proud of that. We were recognized at the sustainability conference in Boston this past week.
Good.
And was anyone there to receive the recognition?
Yes, Cassandra Borchers, sorry, not Cassandra Borchers, Jacob
My staff.
Lebecka,
My staff was
who is Cassandra Borchers' staff member and who really leads our sustainability efforts, was on hand to receive that recognition.
Well, Whitney is working with the city of St. Petersburg to schedule a local celebration of this amazing achievement. Stay tuned.
Why are we doing it in St. Petersburg?
The initial idea was to celebrate also the electric buses that's been running in St. Petersburg, and maybe have Mayor Kreisman speak to how it aligns with their efforts of sustainability. But we're working on the details of the event and what we are going to do.
I would appreciate it very much if this presentation could also be made in front of the county commission, considering the work that we have been doing to try to assist PSTA. It seems only fair that they are part of
Good idea.
the receiving end of a really good news story.
Yeah, because it is thanks to the county commission's allocation of the VP settlement funds that we got this going.
Hello?
Yeah.
I rest my case. Thank you.
Looking at our financial stability score, as Debbie Leas has shared with you in earlier budget presentations, we have been attacking meeting our budget and attempting to reduce the deficit in our budget as much as possible. And through measures coming out of our procurement department for cost savings, through increased fuel efficiency, through efforts from the maintenance department, we have been making very good progress. And you'll see that our scores under our financial stability, meeting our budget and reducing the deficit, are very strong this quarter. In our customer satisfaction area, we take those scores very seriously. They're very data-driven, and we know from our previous surveys that on-time performance is one of the key concern that customers have. And it's the key way that we can make an impact in how they feel about our service and their experience on our buses. Our transportation department undertook an initiative with increased communication and awareness about what we call running hot, which is reaching a bus stop early. They've been very successful in reducing that, and so our on-time performance has improved to the highest point so far this year, leading us to strong customer satisfaction scores.
So that running hot phrase that you just used, does that connote to the fact that they're speeding to get there?
No, it doesn't. It's, it often has to do with traffic. The schedules are built to try to accommodate fluctuations in traffic.
And also how many stops they have to make.
Stops.
I was kind of saying it in jest, but just really wanting to know if, you know,
Yeah.
they were
So,
not overlooking safety in the quest for more efficient.
Certainly.
right.
Yeah.
Looking at our employee engagement, we have done a lot of work on employee engagement this year, really building on the results that we received from our employee engagement survey from last year. Our 2019 employee engagement survey is actually underway right now, so we'll have results on that soon for you. But we've been targeting our efforts towards areas that were identified in the first survey, and one of them really showed that we needed to invest in supporting our managers and our front-level supervisors in their skills, because one of the biggest drivers of employee engagement is your relationship with your manager. So we've launched 2 initiatives this year to target our administrative level managers and our frontline supervisors, who are the first line of support for our bus drivers, obviously our biggest group of employees here. So both have received very targeted training that's supporting them in their leadership skills, elevating their awareness and knowledge of the rest of the organization, and continuing to invest in having very strong leaders here.
And tell them the name of it.
So Awesome Bosses Boot Camp.
Hold on 1 second, Trish, please. Joe has a question.
You're probably going to get to it, but on Org 15 training effectiveness, that's where we're heading?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just a fraction, but just out of curiosity, what are we missing and what do we need to do in that area?
Oh, sure. So we typically do a very good job with training effectiveness. We were 1 percentage point below our target. So we do highlight it in yellow to make sure that we're aware that it's not quite at 100%, and that we need to monitor it and evaluate our, in this case, our training opportunities for people and make sure that they're still hitting the needs that we require. Every time someone goes to training, we send them a survey. We ask them 4 short questions, and one of them is, did this training, was it relevant to your role, and is it helping you be stronger in your skill set? And anytime we see training that begins to trend, that people are saying, this was not so relevant, we take a close look at that and look for alternatives that are more effective.
So you're saying that we were at 92 instead of 93?
Right.
Okay.
That's what that is.
I guess my question is, which specific group are we targeting that we're not right on zeroing in on? Is it drivers? Is it staff people? Is it executives? I mean, who in that category for that 1/10, 1%?
I would have to look at that and get you a more detailed answer.
Okay.
The percentage is so small,
Yeah.
it may be as small as 1 or 2 people who said in a class that, you know.
Okay, so it's based on the survey?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
But I appreciate your question about the audience for training.
Mhm.
And that's another of the metrics that we measure at a department level to make sure that we're providing training opportunities throughout the organization to cover everyone in their professional development.
Okay, thanks.
So the last highlight that I wanted to mention, you heard this from Abhishek in our last board meeting, but the commitment to performance metric is driven in large part. We have 2 in there. One is about operational metrics. The other is about our progress with our rapid transit project. And as you may remember, we reached a key milestone with the FTA in Q3. They assigned a project management oversight consultant to the project, really indicating that they are moving forward with us on this project. So I think those are 5 stories behind the numbers, if you will. This is a great overview to see what we're tracking, where we're on target, where we're spending, paying more attention because we need to focus on improving the metric. But you don't always get to hear, I think, sometimes the work that's underpinning those numbers. So I wanted to just bring those highlights to you this time as well.
Excellent, thank you very much for a very comprehensive report. Commissioner Rice.
This is so impressive, thank you. One of the things I really like about it is it really shows that correlation between the actions that we're taking and how the outcomes are measured. And so we start to really have a deeper understanding of how we get to these numbers. And you never want the scorecard to just become an autopsy.
Sure.
You want it to be kind of a diagnostic tool to figure out what are we doing, what outcomes are we getting, what do we need to do more of, less of. So now that we've been committed to this process for quite some time, I think this is really starting to play out that I think some of this has come about as a result of starting this process. So
Oh,
just,
Trish, could I ask
Thank
you, are you,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Under community support, the improved environmental sustainability indicators, I'm assuming that you have identified measurements and objectives within that category so that you are able to clearly define and measure what you've done. Is that accurate?
That's right.
Are you able to send those measurements and objectives to me? I would like to share them with our county staff that are supervising our fleet of vehicles within Pinellas County. I think that could be very meaningful. Don't you, Commissioner?
I mean, there is some breakdown here on page 3 about what's included in that, so it's very helpful.
Thank you for pointing that out. You're getting ahead of me there.
Yeah, absolutely. There are 11 indicators.
Are they all here?
They are listed there, but I'm
Okay,
sure
well
that there's
then-
some other material.
If you have anything else, I'd appreciate
Yeah.
receiving it, but in the meantime, I can share this with them as well. So-
Sure.
Yes, I'm sorry, Joe,
Yeah.
please.
With regard to, Trish, with regard to the Org 18, there needs to be some kind of an asterisk or something on this to say basically, hey, we're being held up by things outside of our control. And so that we don't have, now, it may not be that significant in terms of the overall scoring, because the overall scoring is very good, but we just need to point out the fact that these are external factors. I mean, we're trying to move forward as rapidly as possible on this project, but we're facing pushback from other communities and other organizations.
Good
So
point,
it's-
Commissioner, good point.
Mhm.
So Brad, in your conversation with Harry, did he speak to any time frame that they indicated they would be making a decision? The FTA.
Well, we spoke about the fact that we plan on a trip to Washington DC to advocate with our delegation and the administration to get them to make a decision. Basically, we're at a point now where timing is right. We're further, closing in on the finish line with the technical work, and that's all going well. So now we need to engage every strategy we could possibly engage to get the leaders in Washington DC to advocate on behalf of our community, to get them to allocate funds that they have. Congress doesn't have to approve the funds, but to allocate to our project. And so,
Well, if we're gonna suggest that we take Holton with us, why don't we ask Harry to get us an appointment at the White House?
that's a great idea. Yeah.
Every now and then I have one.
Yeah.
All they can say is no. But
Right,
it's
exactly.
worth asking.
Yeah. Yeah, so, getting them, the goal is, of course, getting them to approve the grant. That's really the final goal we have.
Or if we can't get to the White House, how about Elaine Chow?
Absolutely. We need to try to meet with anyone we can that can, because all those folks they may not know about us individually, maybe, but they have to allow the grant to be approved. I'll say it like that. So we're looking forward to that visit in September. And that will be before, hopefully, the end of the school year, and so our red will turn to maybe at least yellow. Based on a positive meeting. I don't know. Actually, it won't, but.
Okay, thank you very much, Trish. Did you have anything else?
I do. Our action item today, if you wouldn't mind passing something, is to approve the use of the scorecard continuing on now for our third year. I'm passing out a draft of the 2020 scorecard. It is still in draft format. You'll notice under financial stability, there are a couple of goals that have yet to be set. That can really only be done after Q4 financial data is received and analyzed. But in essence, this is our 2020 organizational scorecard. And the action item is to approve continuing to use it as a measure of performance.
So we're, just to clarify, we're approving a motion to move it forward with the board predicated on the results of our financial situation at the end of the month.
We will have final metrics set at the end of the year, at the end of Q4, and that will fill in the goals that we'll set under the financial stability piece.
So is that at the end of September, Debbie, or the end of December?
At the end of September, when we approve the budget, then we'll know exactly what our goals should be.
So we haven't changed anything other than what those budget numbers will be.
There are a few changes you'll see. For example, under Org 18, our goal for next year is no longer focused on the design of the BRT, but the construction of the BRT.
Okay.
Right.
I'll make that motion, Madam Chair.
Yes?
I'll make that motion to approve going forward the use of performance scorecard for fiscal year 2020.
Second. And we have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. That was easy. Where's my that was easy button? Okay, so Brad, do you want to take us through the August agenda for the
Sure,
board
which
meeting?
is, your places as well, for the board meeting agenda, which is on the 28th. Right now, we have a very aspirational consent agenda. I see that Rachel's put all these things on the consent agenda. Of course, the Finance Committee, which sees almost all of these items, actually makes the recommendation whether they should be on the consent or the action items. But there's one item on the consent agenda that I think is very positive and might make itself onto the action item, which is on the back of your page, 5F, Greyhound Pinellas Park Agreement.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Greyhound, we have an agreement now with Greyhound, that the board will hopefully approve, to allow them to have the Pinellas County Greyhound pickup location at the Pinellas Park Transit Center, right there, off US 19. And then a Greyhound employee will use the second unused ticket window in our little transit center that we have there. And they're gonna pay us a nominal amount of money for that privilege and for the electricity that their computer is gonna use.
Is there a?
They were told, or they left St. Pete a while, maybe 5 or 6 months ago from a place that they had been off 16th that they had been for a very long time. And then they've been kind of nomadic for the last several months as we worked out this arrangement. They were for a while picking up at a gas station off of Gandy Boulevard, and then for the last like 6 weeks or so, they've been picking up at the Ulmerton Road Park and Ride that PSTA owns. That's where our airport express bus starts. And Greyhound's been going there, but they're very excited to have a new home.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Do we have anything resembling a waiting room capacity in that location?
Not really.
When
We
I've
have
been there before,
shelters.
everything was like external, basically.
We have
For the customers, it is, yes.
I mean, not that we're gonna have that many people, but.
We have a
this-
restroom
Yeah, yeah.
there.
But if we have that space, that might be helpful. And the second thing I would say is we need to publicize this so that we have some synergy out of this kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, one of the benefits I think of this is that there's like, I think the schedule, there's 6 Greyhound buses that come through Pinellas County per day. I think 5 or 6 in each direction. They go south down I-75 to Miami, and they go north to New York City via Tampa and the Howard Franklin Bridge. And you can get to Tampa on Greyhound for $7. And I think you can get to Orlando for like $16, including the weekends. And right now, that's one of our #1 requests is to get to Tampa. We don't have any buses that go, we don't have any express buses that frequently go to downtown Tampa on the weekends. So this finally gives people a weekend alternative to go to Tampa or Orlando for a relatively good price. They can take the bus to the Pinellas Park Transit Center pretty easily and then transfer to the Greyhound to get there. So we do need to advertise it. And Greyhound is very excited for us to advertise it, the transit connection to Greyhound.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then could we just make the decision now to pull that as a good news item?
Yeah.
Consent agenda?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think I saw some emails that they want to have some media. They want to be positive, or maybe they're going to come to the meeting or something.
Who is they?
I'm
The
looking at you,
Greyhound
Whitney.
people?
The Greyhound people. It's
For
just-
the board meeting?
Yeah.
I will double check.
Whitney can take care of that, right, Whitney?
Of course.
Just a good idea.
Yeah. Then the item that I think will have probably the most discussion is our bus purchase, item 6A. And this is the item that we teed up last month with a good, healthy discussion about the kind of buses that we would purchase for the BRT. We're actually going to be taking action to purchase trolleys and the BRT buses in one action item. Trolleys are replacement trolleys for some of our oldest vehicles in our fleet, which are the trolleys that we operate on Central Avenue and along Gulf Boulevard.
And how long are they?
The ones that we are proposing to buy are 30 feet.
Here's where I got the 30-foot number from. I knew I
Maybe.
didn't just make it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
What we're proposing there is to purchase vehicles, what's called a medium-duty trolley versus the heavy-duty trolleys that we operate now, which I like to say they're a regular bus that has what's called a trolley package. It looks like a regular bus dressed up as a trolley for Halloween. That's what I call it. The ones that run on Central Avenue, they don't look like the Central Avenue trolleys or the Looper trolleys, which have a more trolley bus look to them. So you can't beat them, join them. So we are going to buy vehicles that look pretty much exactly like the Jolly Trolley and Looper vehicles, which are called medium duty for that. And then for the BRT, as we discussed, we're going to be purchasing 40-foot hybrid electric. We're going to be recommending buying 40-foot hybrid electric buses. And these are buses that we can get delivered quickly and on time, and implement the BRT according to our schedule.
How many, I'm sorry, how many buses?
9
9?
of those. We have no anticipation of this, but of course, if for some reason the BRT does not come about, these buses can easily be transferred to our rest of our routes and be used on other routes. But they will be branded. They will look different than our regular buses. They'll have
They'll
extra
be branded
menus.
with our new brand?
With our new brand that we're having a meeting later, right after this meeting about, and then and they'll be ready to launch the BRT.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Okay,
and then Trish is going to wow the full PSA board with the scorecard.
excellent.
Mhm.
All right. Okay.
Just refresh my memory, how many trolleys are we buying?
We're going to place an order for 20. Right now we own 16 trolleys, but that has proven not to be enough. The Central Avenue Trolley and the Suncoast Beach Trolley are some of our longest routes and some of our most popular routes. Those buses get so many miles on them that they have to come in to get preventative maintenance oil changes on such a frequent basis that oftentimes, and this is something that we've been criticized in St. Pete Beach about, the buses are in getting their regular maintenance so frequently that we have to run a regular bus on that route. So we're increasing the number of trolleys. People love trolleys, from 16 to 20, and then we'll probably meter out the delivery of those so they're not all the same age. So we'll take 10 this year and 10 the following year.
It's the mystique though that actually I think that people love.
Yep.
The issue, those are basically on a truck chassis, as I recall, correct?
Yeah.
So they're gonna have diesel engines, unfortunately, right? They're not gonna have hybrid
Unfortunately.
engines.
Correct.
Yeah, because that would help with the maintenance, and it would also help ecologically, but they're not available in that format, correct?
Not
Yeah.
available. I mean, we've got Henry's still looking into different options. We're piggybacking off of an existing contract to purchase these. We're looking at it. We're still honing down a couple different options. But yeah, unfortunately, they don't make one of these, electric or hybrid.
Well, we're running the air conditioner with the windows all open, right? So,
We're also looking at possibility of purchase. Well, I don't have staff is debating me on this about whether or not we buy all of them with windows. some
That's an
people,
oxymoron, actually.
some people, Jolly Trolley and Looper both own trolleys that have no windows. And especially on certain times of the year and along the beach, tourists like that. They like not having the windows.
Unless it's a monsoon rain.
Unless it's a monsoon rain or 110 degrees, which often is too, then they like the AC.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're nice to ride at night with the windows, without, windows.
Eric Paulson, who runs the Looper, he told me that in surveys he's done, it's like 50/50. They like the open air or they
Yeah.
like the AC.
Okay, moving on. Anything else for the good of the order?
No, I think we're gonna, when we present the bus purchase plan, we're gonna talk a little bit more about the VW settlement funds and PSTA's long-term goal to, what we need to do and what our plan is to continue to increase the number of all-electric buses in our fleet.
Yes.
The infrastructure plan, there's been a lot going on at PSTA to prepare for this. I mean, it's coming. The BRT project is being designed that's so it can handle electric vehicles in the future when they're ready for it. And we have a whole plan on rolling out more and more electric vehicles in a phased way. So stay tuned for that.
Excellent. Okay. Well, is there anything else, members, that we need to address? Anybody? No?
We have a legislative committee meeting on Friday
Correct.
where we're going to be meeting, I think both of our lobbyists teams will be here to map out, to start discussing a draft agenda, federal and state. I thought federal was going to be pretty focused on the BRT, which it is, but we're going to talk more comprehensively about all the different grant applications the PSTA is putting in for, and using our federal lobbying team more for that. And then Ron and Natalie will be here to talk about a state legislative agenda.
Did you check on the contracts?
Oh, that was for T-BARDA.
Yeah, but we're piggybacking on PSTA, right?
Right. We have one more year on both our contracts, I believe. Is that true?
I'm not 100% sure.
What?
I'm not 100%
Well,
sure.
we had a
I'm not
discussion
either.
about the fact that T-BARDA was going to piggyback on our contract for 1 year for the state contract, and then they were gonna do their own procurement. I don't know if I wasn't sure if that's happening or not.
That's a little troublesome to hear.
I know, because we have to get going, because the state legislative sessions committee weeks are in a month. Yeah.
Okay. All right, kids. For the good of the order, we are adjourned, and I will see you all. If you're on the legislative committee, I'll see you on the Friday or at the board meeting at the end of the month.
Great.